Mr. Prime Minister, we had made interview with you during the war. It was really difficult situation for your country. 5 months gone. Now you face with another problem, Hezbollah. What do you think of it? What will you say about it?
Well, during August we were really facing a major challenge brought about by the Israelis. They were invading Lebanon, and all the Lebanese were united in order to really face that aggression. And we that led ultimately, on the one hand, for the deployment of the Lebanese army after 35 years of being away from the south, and the withdrawal of the Israelis. But there are still matters that should really be handled. We have only now a cessation of hostilities. We don't have a ceasefire, and we still have the problem of the Gajar village, as well as the overflights and the continuation of the Shiva farms. Now, actually, all of a sudden, the matter were really transferred into a different arena. And you know, when our government came into office, was one of the major objectives was to go ahead in the formation of the international tribunal, or a tribunal that has an international character, in order to really take the perpetrators of the crime against Prime Minister Hariri and Bassif Rayhan, and later on that led to the assassination of other personalities, was definitely of most importance to ourselves, other than there are plenty of other issues that the government has to attend. Now, this matter, we find that some of our colleagues, they talk about their acceptance of the idea of having a tribunal of an international nature, but they are really short of really giving their consent, ultimately, despite all the attempts that were made by us to really get to this. And this type of tribunal is important not only to bring those who really committed the crime to justice, but you know, this country has been subjected to the largest number of political assassinations, and this has to really be put to an end. And last week we have lost one of our colleagues in the cabinet. So,
Industry Minister.
yes, the industry.
Yeah,
so this is very important to us. And they are really trying to give an excuse for this in order to really have a cabinet of really represents all the political groups in the country, of a national consensus government. Well, for something that is entirely different from that. And one of the objectives is to get away with the international tribunal, or the tribunal of international character, and to put everything later on as the force in the hands of those who are for the Syrian influence in the country, and the Syrian, let's say, the hegemony of the Syrians in the country. Mind you that we are of the opinion that we want to have very good relations with Syria, and we want to have very good relations with Iran, but we don't want our country to be a theater or a battleground for proxy wars. We want our independence, we want to assert our sovereignty, we want to be on good terms with everybody. We don't want to be members or allies to any group of countries in the world. We want to be good with all concerned, but we want to have our independence, and we don't want to be satellite in the let's say the sphere of any group of countries or any.
But Mr. Prime Minister, Syrian authorities or Damascus administration says we don't influence, we don't affect Hezbollah or another groups, Shiite groups or Mishalani groups. We just sharing same opinions with them. They say Damascus administration.
They know that this is not true. Say this matter, they are not really covering it up. I mean, by showing their interference in the country. Nevertheless, you see, what we really want to say is that we ourselves, we believe that we would like to have in the government all those who can really represent. But we have to respect the rules of democracy on the one hand, and we have to respect the rules that are being set by the Constitution. We have already proposed a number of creative formulas in order to make them participate in the government, whereby the most recent, let's say, proposal that we made, in which we can really make an arrangement, which is actually, I mean, for the sake of the viewers to know, in our Constitution, it states clearly that if more than 1/3 of the members of the cabinet resign, then it means that the cabinet would be considered as if it has resigned. So it is very important in this respect to maintain at least 2/3 who are there, so that not to really put, let's say, the cabinet at risk, and in which the minority can have what you call it, the tyranny of the minority.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, I see you very well, but now hundreds of thousands of people are in the streets. Do you think, does your country face a chaos or chaotic situation?
No, I think, let me tell you, we strongly believe in two important matters in this respect. One, the right of the people to express their views and to demonstrate, and to really have no limitation on their ability to really, as it's called, freedom of speech and demonstration. And this is something, it is in our Constitution, in our law, and we as a government, we are going to provide them with all the necessary facilities so that they can express their views. On the other hand, we want to make sure that the rights of the others are being respected, i.e., people are being protected, their lives, their freedom, their assets, free to move from one place into another, and there are no, let's say, any offense against individuals or public properties or individual properties. So these are the things that we want to really make sure. I have no doubt that the majority can mobilize in the street a few 100,000, yes. But on the other hand, the other groups, the majority, can mobilize much more. So, I mean, this is not a matter of, let's say, a competition who can really move more people and can send people to the street. What we are saying is that we have plenty of issues on our agenda and the agenda of Lebanon. And we have to really to address them and to make the government a place in which it is possible to take decisions, not a place where we cannot take decisions. Most of the work that's being done now, it is in order to make it difficult for the formation of the tribunal with international. This is the problem that we are facing. And this is the thing that they are attempting.
You mean the main point is you have tribal, is that right?
Well, I mean, let me tell you something. There are only 2 instances in the performance of my cabinet. 2 instances in the performance of my cabinet in which the representatives of Hezbollah and Amal, in the first place, they abstained from attending for 7 weeks, and in the second time, they submitted their resignation. In these 2 instances, the matter that has to do with the International Tribunal was the reason. In the first time, that was in December last year, and in this time as well, it is because of the International. Other than this, all the decisions that were taken by my government, all the decisions were based on consensus and on understanding among all the members, i.e. we did not resort to voting, which is something that's being allowed by our constitution.
But as you know, 6 ministers resigned. So.
Yes, that's correct. That is something which really tells that we have a problem on our hand. That's correct. But this does not render our cabinet to become unconstitutional. Why? Because according to our constitution, it has stated specifically that if only more than 1/3 of the members of the cabinet resign, so that the cabinet to be considered as if it has resigned. You see? And legislators intended this to send a message that it requires the presence of more than one confessional group. In other words, if, let's say, the legislators who put the constitution wanted to have our system to be a confederate system rather than a parliamentary system, then they would have really put, let's say, the ceiling as the ceiling to be 20% of the members of the cabinet, not more than 1/3, you see, in order to allow that for any, let's say, single confessional group to resign, to consider. Besides that, they submitted their resignation, but the resignation has not been accepted. And there is nothing that was made in order to push them out of the cabinet. Indicate that, in effect, our cabinet is still constitutional, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a problem on our hand. We do have a problem on our hand, and we are continuing our efforts in order to deal with it, but at the same time, we want to respect our constitution, we want to respect our parliamentary system, we have to respect the freedom of the people and the choice of the people, that ultimately we want the International Tribunal in order to protect the freedom of the people of choice, of speech, of political parties, understand? This is the thing.
So far, people is really confused with Lebanese people. You are also a former academician. You know your country very well. You know your people very well. So far, I am here more than 3 months totally. So far, I have told hundreds of Lebanese, Sunnis, Shiites, Druze, Catholics, Orthodox. People are definitely, I saw this, afraid of a new civil war. What will you say about it?
I think, you see, our experience is that, first of all, the Lebanese, they have tried these civil disturbances, and they know that this is something is very bad for all the Lebanese. And this is not going to produce any results. The only way in which we can produce results is for the Lebanese to get together and sit down and talk around the table and try to find solutions to their problems. Going to the street does not bring any results. It will heighten the degree of tension and will not lead anywhere. I believe that the demonstrators have expressed their views that they want to demonstrate, and this is their right. We will protect this right to them, but at the same time, we want to make sure that the rights of others are not being endangered. We believe that the Lebanese have learned a lot from previous experiences. They are not going to...
I think more than 100,000 people were killed in the first civil war.
Yes, and you see, there has been lots of opinion that's being made. The Islamic Spiritual Summit got together and expressed its views that it is against going to the street. Yesterday, the patriarch made a very important speech, warning the people from going to the street because of the dangers of that. Today, the Grand Mufti, Sunni Mufti, again expressed its views, and this is unacceptable. So there is a mounting public opinion against resorting to the street in order to solve problems there. In Lebanon, the street doesn't solve problems. In Lebanon, you have to really cool it off, try to come to terms and outside our democratic institutions.
But maybe Hezbollah and its allies continues these street demonstrations 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And do you think is democracy in danger in your country?
No, I think this is their right to do so, as long as they are respecting the rules and regulations. And I think ultimately, you see, this, in fact, they have to come to realize not only the government, it's endangering the economy, it's endangering the people as well. Because this has a great impact and damaging impact on the economy, on the, let's say, job opportunities, on the, I mean, to give you an example, Lebanon was preparing to have this year.
If this chaotic situation continues, for example, 1, 2 months, will you resign?
Clear, very much clear yesterday. I never really worked to continue to be Prime Minister. This is not my objective. I say that I will continue as a Prime Minister and my cabinet will continue a functioning cabinet as long as we have the vote of confidence of the Parliament. Yes. This is a democratic country and we want to respect our democratic regime and our democratic institutions. So we do not believe in let's say, means that really the world is getting rid of. It is not by making coup d'etats that one can really resolve issues. It is through democracy. Democracy, it is at the Parliament. You can go to the Parliament and express your views. You can do whatever you want in the Parliament in order to bring down the government. Then this is something very respectable. And this is the right thing. It is through democratic means you can bring down the government.
Why your government or anti-Syrian groups couldn't find a consensus about national unity government with Hezbollah and its allies? What's the barrier of this?
I said the barrier for this is that we already proposed something in order for everybody to feel their deal. They wanted to have, let's say, a more effective share in the decision making. Although the practice, the performance in the past proved that throughout the past 15 months, we did not resort to voting. Everything was made on consensus. Nevertheless, in order to assure them, we said we'll make a cabinet of 30 members, and to make it 19, 9 for the minority, 19 for the majority, and 2 as neutrals, whereby this can really assure them that if, let's say, things become really tense and we are going to resort to voting, these two neutrals will not vote. So it means that they can assure themselves that effectively nothing that is contrary to not put the government at the risk of their decision so that they can resign and the cabinet will be resigning them. So this is the thing that we have done, and still they did not come up with any results. I believe that still their main objective is to obstruct the passing of the international tribunal.
As you know, Turkey Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan will visit your country in recent days.
Yes.
He will also meet with you, and before this visit, he mentioned Turkish government support, senior government,
yes.
your government.
Yes.
What do you think about it?
Well, actually, I would like to, first of all, to seize this opportunity to express my great greetings, admiration, and thanks for Prime Minister Erdogan and to the Turkish people for the real, very effective and constructive role that they played with Lebanon and to support Lebanon during the war and in sending the Turkish contingent. This is one. Secondly, I have been in contact with Prime Minister Erdogan during the war several times and afterwards, and I really thank him for the support. I really look forward to receive him and to have a discussion with him, and I am continuously in contact with him. I have been really indicating to Prime Minister Erdogan all the various issues, which is a bit complicated in Lebanon, but nevertheless it's important. We believe what is at stake is our democracy, is a democracy. And we are very keen in preserving and enhancing our democratic regime and not to resort to means that will lead to the toppling down of the government or to really make Lebanon once more as whether it is Syria or Iran. Nevertheless, at the same time, we don't want to be a satellite in the sphere of neither any other Arab country, nor any other European or American United States. You see, our intention to really make sure that we are staying and steadfasting, you see, in preserving our democracy, our independence and sovereignty. We have the support of the majority of the people. This is not to underestimate the popularity of Hezbollah. I am not underestimating that. But at the end of the day, either we are a democracy or not a democracy. We consider ourselves as Lebanon to play a very important role in the region as a beacon of democracy, tolerance, moderation, openness, free enterprise. This is what we stand for. The Lebanese want to live back again. They want the culture of life and not the culture of death. They want to really to liberate their occupied territories, but they don't want to be a battlefield for the battles of the fights of others or the wars of others. We don't want to fight proxy wars in here. So this is what the Lebanese are really looking forward. They really want to get the support of their sister countries, and our sister countries are supporting us effectively, and our friends around the world. So this is what we really stand for. We have the people with us, the majority of the people. We have our sister countries with us. The international community is supporting us, and we don't want to take our country to the unknown. We want the people to live. We want to create jobs. We want to attend to our economy that has been suffering a great deal. This year we were supposed to have a growth of 6%. According to the IMF, after the war and because of the continued tension, we are going to end up probably in a 5% minus, i.e. we have lost 11% of our GDP this year. This is besides all the material and physical destruction and physical losses that we have suffered. This is what we are working for. And at the same time, all the things that we are doing to Hezbollah, to Aman, because we do consider them, that they are part of our society. We want to continue with them. We want to have them as part of the cabinet. This is what we want. But we want to respect the rules of democracy. We have to respect the wish of the people. What did they opted for? This is the thing. And not to be really pushed into, let's say, areas or into wars that are being imposed by the others. The Iranians, they said, Mr. Khamenei said very clearly that we want to defeat the United States in Lebanon. After 2 days, Mr. Hassan Nasrallah came out and said, this Lebanese government is the government of the United States. I mean, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. We want to...
You mean clearly, frankly, you say Iran, Tehran and Damascus interfere your country.
They are clear intervention. And at the same time, while we say that, we immediately say that we want honestly and sincerely to have very good relations with Syria, being a sister country that we had the past, the present, the future relations with it. And we want to have a relationship that's based on mutual respect. The same thing with Iran. I always wanted to say that there is a real interest for the Arab world to build better relations with Iran, and I'm really among the most defenders of this policy. But again,
Finally, Mr. Nasrallah and Iranian president speak same language.
Well, let's
same.
I don't want to really say anything of the sort. I leave it to the reader to understand what is there.
Okay, last question. As you know, again, the Turkish troops, which is UNIFIL mandate in Lebanon for 2 months. And Turkish reconstruction contingent is joining to rebuild works in Lebanon. What do you think of it?
Well, first of all, I mean, the presence of the Turkish contingent is very important and effective. And they are having very good relations with their other teams within the international force and with the Lebanese army. And from day one, Mr. Erdogan, Prime Minister, said that they want to really participate in the reconstruction in the region. And they have been really very helpful within their, let's say, the community that they are in. They have been very effective in sending the prefab schools that are being...
You know, Israeli workplace still violate your airspace.
Well, yes, but that's one of the things...
Do you think it's inspired in danger, by the way?
Well, for the international force?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the Israelis are undermining the presence of the international force. And there has been lots of, let's say, contestation and complaints about this. And we always say the Israelis, they should stop that, and they should immediately withdraw from the Lebanese territory that are still being occupied by them. So this is our position. The role that's being played by the Turkish contingent is very effective and very important. And I would like to see this opportunity to address the Turkish people, how much we are really thankful for the role that's being played by the Turkish contingent. And this is considered as a message and a sign of solidarity with the Lebanese people. We want to really enhance our relations together at all levels, friendship as well as business relationship. And I think that the Lebanese will always remember what role that the Turkish contingent and the Turkish government and finally the Turkish people, who is really behind everything, were in support of Lebanon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.